Welcome to the deep dive. We're tackling quite a stack of sources today. It's this sprawling fantasy world, really dense stuff. We're looking at ancient prophecies, secret magic, and basically the potential collapse of this thousand-year political system.
Yeah.
Our mission, really, is to track these key figures, agents, exiles, writers, from these two just completely opposing cultures.
Right, because they're hurtling towards this single massive confrontation with the nameless one.
Exactly.
And the world split is just fundamental. You've got the West, Virtutum, and they are absolutely convinced their queen's bloodline, the House of Berethnet, is the only thing holding back this ancient evil.
Right, keeping it chained.
But then, miles away, you have the East, Saiki, dragon worshippers, total seclusion, totally different magic system.
So different.
And the core of what we're distilling is how these two sides, despite hating each other for centuries, have to come together if they want to survive, that is.
And the people we're following are the key, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got, let's see, Durian, the queen's secret bodyguard, who's also a mage. Then Lord Ardloth Beck, or Loth, he's this noble, gets exiled, turns into a diplomat almost by accident.
Right, the accidental diplomat.
Then Tenay, in the east, a disgraced dragon rider apprentice.
Yeah.
And Leclace Roos, the banished alchemist.
A real mix of character.
Yeah, so we need to figure out who actually holds the real key to stopping the apocalypse here.
Okay, let's dive in.
Okay.
Okay, let's start where the official story does, right? The throne of Enis in the west.
Yep, Queen Sabran IX.
And for her, it's all about continuation. The whole religion, Virtutum, it hinges on her ancestor, Gallian Berethnet. The saint?
Supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah. He is the one believed to have defeated and chained the Nameless One. So Sabran's job, her duty, is to have an heir, keep that chain strong.
And it's a brutal inheritance. I mean, the sources paint this picture of just extreme peril around the queen.
Oh.
Royal lineage basically means constant assassination attempts.
It's not just paranoia, then? Oh, no, not at all. The history is littered with it. Previous queens killed by poisons, things made to look like accidents, like basilisk venom for Rosarian IV. And even now, cutthroats are found with, Yaskali daggers. The threat is very real.
And the pressure isn't just external, is it? The whole system seems designed to force her into this role she clearly doesn't want.
Precisely. Which leads us to Durian.
Right. Eid. On the surface, she's just a lady in waiting. A southerner, converted to Virtutum. Seems harmless enough.
But that's the cover. Secretly, she's from the Priory of the Orange Tree. A red damsel. Which means she's a mage, a trained slayer.
Drawing power. Sedin is it called, from this special tree.
That's right. And what's really fascinating, and kind of a clue early on, is her hidden faith. It directly clashes with the official Innis story.
How so?
Well, Virtutum remembers the original heroine, Cleolind, as this weak damsel who needed St. Gallian to save her. But Eid's Priory, they revere Cleolind as the mother, a powerful warrior in her own right. So right away, the official history in the West is skewed, maybe deliberately.
A skewed history. And while Eid's fighting off assassins, the real danger might be inside the palace walls.
Absolutely. You see figures like Satan Come, the Spy Master, the Nighthawk. He's pulling strings.
He's the one who gets rid of Loth, right?
Yeah.
Sends him up to Escalon.
Exactly. Sends Lord Ardloth Beck on this so-called diplomatic mission. It looks like a standard political move. Get Loth, who the queen actually likes, out of the picture. Make way for maybe a more strategic marriage alliance.
Classic court intrigue.
Textbook. But then you have even more direct threats, like Lady Agraincrest. She literally tries to force Sabran to sign an oath of relinquishment, just hand over the throne.
Wow. So the biggest threat to the queen fulfilling her supposed world-saving duty was actually internal all along.
Pretty much. Undermining the very heir everyone thought was the key. Yeah, and while the West is all tangled up in bloodlines and who's plotting against whom, the actual solution, or part of it, is brewing worlds away. Behind those walls in Saiki, with the dragon worshippers.
Okay, let's make that shift then. Across the sea to the east, we meet Tenay. She's an apprentice, and her whole world, her whole life, revolves around getting chosen by a dragon on choosing day, becoming God-chosen.
And that culture is intense. Obsessed with purity, total isolation. They have the Great Edict.
The sea ban, right? Because they're terrified of this Western plague, the red sickness.
Terrified for centuries, which makes Tenay's actions incredibly risky. She breaks seclusion, hides this outsider, Sulyard, a mentish sailor who washes ashore.
Just before her choosing day.
Right before. Her lifelong ambition versus this sudden moral conflict. Hiding an outsider could mean disgrace, even death. It immediately puts her personal struggle on a different level than the court politics back west.
And this trespasser, Sulyard, he's the link.
He's a crucial link. He connects back to Nicolaus Rus, the alchemist.
Ah, the one Queen Sabrin exiled. Why again?
He failed her. Sabrin tasked him with brewing an elixir of life.
An elixir of life. Why?
Well, think about it. If she could live forever, she wouldn't need an heir. She could sidestep the whole marriage, the childbearing, the very duty her religion demanded of her, avoid the prophecy.
So she exiled him for failing, and he ends up in the East.
Yes, exiled to Arizima first, then ends up in Seiki. And things get complicated for him there. He gets captured by this notorious pirate, the Golden Empress.
Okay.
And she tasks him with finding something called the Rising Jewel, using this ancient Saikonese text, the Tale of Kumaridu.
Another quest. But what about Sulyard? How does he connect to Nicolaus beyond just being mentish?
Here's the kicker. The sources reveal that Sulyard and his lover Trude back in Mentenden, they used Nicholas's old alchemy books, the ones he left behind.
For what?
To research the Nameless One themselves.
Yeah.
Independently. And they reached this absolutely heretical conclusion that the Berethnet bloodline, it wasn't the true key. That the Queen's lineage was not what was holding the Nameless One back.
Wait, so the disgraced alchemist's old research used by his associates, that's what proves the entire Western faith system wrong.
That's what the sources suggest. An act of intellectual treason that completely demolishes the foundation of virtutum, the 1,000-year belief. A lie.
Okay, things are definitely accelerating now. The political games seem almost quaint compared to the actual apocalypse brewing.
Right. The Nameless One isn't just stirring, he's actively rousing his big guns. The High Westerns, these powerful ancient worms like Firidel and Valesa.
And they're causing real destruction, like in Yiskelin, where Loth was sent.
Exactly. Loth, stuck in exile, sees it firsthand. Yiskelin, specifically Karskaro, is described as a charred wasteland. And he learns the local king, Sigoso III, isn't even himself anymore. He's become a puppet. A flesh king for the Nameless One.
Grim. So if the Western faith is wrong, the bloodline isn't the key.
Yeah.
Or what actually stops this.
The sources point to this fundamental magical duality. It's about balance. The threat is primal fire. The fire beneath, that's the Nameless One. The worms coming from the Dreadmount.
Okay, fire beneath.
And it has to be countered by light from above, which translates to starlight, basically. Stellar power. This power is associated with the Eastern dragons and also, interestingly, a recurring comet mentioned in prophecies.
Fire versus starlight. So how do they wield this starlight?
Through 3 artifacts, physical objects imbued with this power. First, there's Ascalon.
The sword. Gallian Brethnet's legendary sword, the symbol of the saint.
The very one. Except the sources drop another bombshell. Gallian the Saint. He was actually known as the Deceiver.
What? No.
Yes, apparently he didn't win through virtue alone. He got help, magical help, from an ancient witch named Kaliba.
Kaliba, Lady of the Woods?
The same one, and guess who stole Ascalon later? Kaliba herself. Took it right from Loth's family estate, Golden Birch, where it was hidden in, of all places, a rabbit hole.
Hold on. The saint, the cornerstone of their entire religion for 1,000 years, was a fraud. Helped by the same witch, who's now apparently helping the Nameless One.
That's the implication. It just completely rewrites history and confirms Sulyard's heresy was probably right. The foundation is rotten.
Unbelievable. Okay, so Ascalon is one artifact, though its history is messy. What are the other 2?
They're the Star Stones, made of sterin, that comet material. Stellar power solidified. You need 2.
Yeah.
The Waning Jewel and the Rising Jewel.
Okay, where are they?
The Waning Jewel is relatively straightforward. Eads Priory, the mages of the Orange Tree, they have it. It's been safeguarded.
And the Rising Jewel, the one Nicaeus was forced to look for.
That one's more complicated. It turns out it was hidden, surgically embedded, actually, inside a living descendant of a historical figure named Naboro.
Embedded in someone.
Whew.
Incredibly, it turns out to be Tane.
Tane, the disgraced dragon rider apprentice. She has the Rising Jewel inside her.
She is the descendant. She holds the second key.
Wow. Okay, so the paths are converging now. Exactly. Loth manages to escape Yiskelin, and crucially, he brokers a military alliance with the Emperor of the 12 Lakes, Dringen Luxing. He secures vital aid without Queen Sabrin needing to marry for political duty. A huge shift.
A diplomatic win based on actual need, not just bloodline politics.
Right. Meanwhile, Nicolaus is still chasing immortality, but he's forced by the Pirate Queen to pursue these jewels. And Id, the Guardian, and Tanae, the unexpected jewel bearer, are heading towards the Abyss, the place where it all began. They hold the real keys.
So it all comes down to this battle at the Abyss.
The site of the original confrontation.
And the alliance is just completely unexpected, isn't it? You've got Loth, the Western noble turned diplomat, Id, the Southern mage, secretly guarding the queen,
Yep.
and Tanae, the Eastern apprentice rider, now revealed as this key figure, riding her dragon, Naimathan. West, South, East, all together.
It's the ultimate cross-cultural team-up, born out of necessity. And the fight itself, it's complex. Kaliba, the witch, she tries to trick everyone by transforming into a double of Queen Sabron.
Deception, right to the end. How do they stop her?
Id uses a Starin blade, basically a knife made from that comet stone, to kill Kaliba. Then, Id takes Ascalon.
The sword built on a lie.
Right, and she plunges it into the Nameless One's chest armor. Wounds him badly.
But that's not enough to finish it.
No, wounding him isn't the final step. It takes synthesis. Tanae and Id, the East, and the South, representing the hidden truth in the West, they have to join hands.
Holding the jewels.
Exactly. Holding the waning jewel and the rising jewel together. Their combined power, the starlight, is what finally allows them to chain the Nameless One to the Abyss, essentially binding him there to die.
So survival wasn't about one person or one bloodline. It was about bringing these different worlds, these different powers together.
Precisely. Fire and starlight, East and West. Hidden truth and open action, all required.
And back in Enos, the political fallout must be huge.
Immediate and devastating. Queen Sabron suffers a miscarriage after an attack by a High Western, the White Worm, and the physician tells her bluntly she will be the last Berethnet. There's no more hiding.
The end of the line. How does she react?
She defies the entire Virtues Council, appears in public wearing black, the color of mourning, not the white traditionally worn when announcing a royal pregnancy. She makes it absolutely clear she is not with child. The lie of the heir is over, publicly dismantled.
Powerful statement. So where do our main characters end up in this new world order?
Well, Sabron needs to protect Id, who the court obviously suspects of witchcraft now. So she appoints Id a knight bachelor in a very public ceremony. It cements Id's loyalty and, their relationship, both politically and personally.
And Loth.
Loth and Margaret, his companion, they return home. Their return exposes the manipulations of Lady Crest and Satan Combe, clearing his name and shaking up the old power structure.
What about Nicholas? Does he get his immortality?
No, he's rescued eventually. He returns to Mentendon, but instead of rushing back to influence or power, the text says he goes to the Old Quarter first. It's implied he's seeking the ghost of his lost love, Shanart, choosing personal connection over ambition, perhaps.
A quiet ending for him.
And Tanae. Tanae is finally recognized, a true dragon rider, holder of the rising jewel. She embraces her role as a guardian, but on her own terms. She commits to pursuing the Golden Empress, the pirate, to stop the illegal trade in dragons and their parts. She finds her purpose not through the old rules, but through the power she now wields.
So when you boil down this incredibly dense stack of sources, the main takeaway seems to be, well, that survival wasn't about clinging to the past, was it?
Not at all.
It wasn't about that single fragile bloodline or the 1,000-year-old story of the saint, which turned out to be a lie anyway.
Right. It hinged entirely on this unexpected alliance. People from completely different cultures, different beliefs, finding common ground, sharing hidden truths, combining different kinds of magic.
Built on shared purpose, really.
Exactly. And if you think about the big picture, the entire foundation of Virtudum, this massive political and religious structure built on Gallian the Saint, it just crumbled, revealed as fraudulent history.
Yeah.
The Berethnet line ends, but the world is saved anyway by this joint power, the fire and starlight working together.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question, I think.
Definitely. And it's something for you, the listener, to consider. If the very foundation of your society, your faith, your political system is exposed as a fabrication, can that structure even survive without its saint? Or do new virtues have to be forged? Maybe by the unlikely, complicated heroes who actually did the saving.